Hello, and thanks for joining us for this video case tip. I'm Bryn McBride of ABC for Health. Today we're taking a look at the Cassidy-Graham Amendment. We're going to explain what that is and why it's relevant to current events. Let's get right to it. It's called the last plan standing because after all of the high drama of last week in the U.S. Senate with multiple attempts to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, this is one amendment that didn't yet get voted on, so it's still kind of hanging out there. Now, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell marked the Affordable Care Act repeal efforts as something that's just going to remain on the calendar. It didn't go away entirely when that last vote was rejected. Their last vote, of course, was on that skinny repeal bill. John McCain out of Arizona was the one senator that broke the otherwise tie in saying no to that, which means that this is the only amendment that's left. This is Senators Bill Cassidy of Louisiana and Lindsey Graham of South Carolina that teamed up and wrote what they considered to be an amendment that adds flexibility to states and equalizes payments across states as a compromise in an effort to still repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. But the flexibility it builds in is questionable, and we're going to look at that in some detail. What does this amendment do? Well, it eliminates the Affordable Care Act subsidies, and this is both tax credits and cost-sharing reductions. So right away, advocates are howling that this is targeting the lower and moderate income families most. It ends Medicaid expansion by 2020 and puts per capita caps on the rest of the Medicaid program. Now, you might be saying this sounds familiar. This has a lot of elements of that original Better Care Reconciliation Act, that original Senate GOP health bill to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act. There are a lot of pieces of that in this amendment, and one of those pieces was this per capita cap for the Medicaid program. What else does it do? Well, it creates a new kind of block grant. It's a lump sum payment to states to spend on health care more broadly instead of dictating ways that money should be spent on health coverage. States, and this is where that flexibility piece comes in, states can use this money to provide coverage or stabilize premiums to create high-risk pools, or they could just make some payments directly to providers, or they could pay co-pays for a patient. There's a lot of examples of the flexibility of how states could use this health coverage or health care money. But don't put all your eggs in one basket on this. This money ends in the next 10 years, by 2026. What does it do? It creates a $140 billion fund in 2020, which some people were saying, oh, that's a great amount of money that we could use on health care in our states across the nation. But keep in mind, that's $26 billion less than what the Affordable Care Act currently has appropriated for states with the effort of expanding coverage. Now, the disparity between the Affordable Care Act funding and this amendment, the Cassidy-Graham Amendment, gets bigger over time. There is no Congressional Budget Office score on this amendment. Luckily, the Center on Budget Policy Priorities has done their own estimates, and they came out with a report, and we share that link with you in a moment, that says this is going to cut hundreds of billions of dollars from healthcare coverage programs. And if you actually spread that out over the next 2 decades, we're looking at several $trillion being cut out of health coverage programs. You can't do that without cutting people's insurance. No brainer. We're going to lose millions of people off of health care coverage, both Medicaid and private insurance. Overall, funding is going to take a big hit for health care and coverage programs, a 34% reduction over what ACA funding, Affordable Care Act funding, would have looked like over the next 10 years. Shortcomings? This is what the CBPP put in their report. This makes the individual market dysfunctional. It's a complex funding formula, which makes it harder for states to keep the Affordable Care Act over time if they wanted to. Senator Graham issued a statement that said if you wanted to keep the Affordable Care Act, if you're a state of California, you expanded Medicaid, you want to keep the ACA, we're going to give you flexibility to do that. But guess what? We're going to make it really hard for you to do that. We're not going to give you the money you need, and we're certainly not going to give you the support. It makes it harder for states with denser, more urban populations because of the formula they are using. So if you're a state like California, once again, you're already behind the 8 ball. More people are going to be uninsured under such an amendment. Less money is going to states, and guess what? States actually have to chip in 3 to 5% matching funds if they get any money from the feds under this program. So states already are saying, no, your goal was flexibility to the states and equality across the states, and you're getting a no on both of those. Flexibility, no, there's a disruption to the market, both individual market and Medicaid. costs and risks are shifted to the state. So the only flexibility coming into the states is for them to assume a bigger burden of risk. Equality across the states? Absolutely not. It's designed to pick winners and losers. That's the overall message of this. This is an amendment that was written to punish those states that expanded Medicaid and that fully embraced the Affordable Care Act. It harms urban states and Medicaid expansion states because of the convoluted formulas they use to figure out their funding mechanism. It does not guarantee states that they will get the funding they need to match their residents' needs, and it hurts the budgets of all states while reducing access to coverage. So the only equalizing factor is that all states will be harmed by this. If that's what they meant by equality and equity, that's what they're getting. You can read this yourself. Now, that amendment link we give you by clicking on that information button at the bottom of your screen is quite dense. So we also gave you the summary that Senator Cassidy put right on his website, 6 bullet points that summarizes what this amendment looks like. We also share that CBPP report that we quoted, and you can read that in its entirety, as well as a Vox article that went into a little bit more detail on both Cassidy and Graham's positions on this bill. You, of course, can click that information button not only to read those links, but also to share your story. Send us an email or visit our website at healthwatchwisconsin.org. If you're watching us on YouTube, feel free to like, comment, or subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.